Content week cannot get here soon enough. Welcome to Too Much Dip. Monday. I'm David. I'm going to host. The guy next to me in studio, vibing, still going. You ready for the intro? I'm giving you this.
I can't stop vibing.
You're going really hard.
God, pass me the rock right now.
That's what I'm trying to do, but you're vibing.
Pass it to me. I'm hot.
Hey, it's Dylan Shivery, known to many as DJ.
No, known to very few as DJ. Very happy to be here, man. I watched a little college football over the weekend. I support Scott Frost and the decision to go for the onside kick there. I love it. Bury those sons of guns. Look, man, I'm happy to be here. It's the best time of year is upon us. And we have a very handsome KJ just right here on screen as well. I don't know, man.
Hopefully the very well lit, not lit enough, midday business cash. KJ is joining here from Wisconsin here in the basement. I love the ongoing, and I don't even think it's a bit, but the ongoing effort by Dylan. It's almost like if you've seen the movie Life, featuring one Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence, where they're on a prison. They have a gun line, which if you walk past said gun line, you'll be shot by a prison guard. Pretty standard operation in a prison, I would imagine. Dylan's effort to like run as far into the rundown and grab a topic from as late into the show and bring it back into the first 12 seconds every episode before David like cuts him off is tremendous every week.
That's like vintage original D-Man right there.
Man, I love it, dude, because, you know, putting these rundowns together is so fun and easy. I love just kind of just completely tanking it.
Did you know that KJ was going to come at us with a jert today?
Yeah, what's going on here? I like that.
It's a good-looking jert, dog.
Ooh, is that Pearl Snap? No Pearl Snaps.
No
cheap bourbon whiskey.
It's like faux Pearl Snap. It's just a little button stitch. But yeah, figured I'd go hit people with the chambray look. Pull the Midwest, like real all-American, hard-working man, blue collar.
Yeah, you're pulling it off well. I didn't know you. Are you supporting Brando Chambly? Is that what that is?
Exactly. That's Brando Chambray is what it is.
Oh, Chambray. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I get that and ombre mixed up.
It's a good look. Other than the visible undershirt, which come on, man. You gotta
intentional.
Show off those pecs.
When I pull the like Ryan Gosling look later, and I want to just do fully like. I haven't figured out how to do layers yet. This is really a confession. I've been told in the Midwest, like layering during the winter is going to be critical. So I'm trying to figure out what's the transition between I'm wearing a t-shirt. I'm also wearing this shirt. At some point, I may have to go jacket on later in the day, jacket off,
okay.
Maybe a vest. Who knows?
Come on.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Thanks, Dan.
I'm going to update the running back.
I got to do it. KJ, you're on one today. It's going to be a fun show. It's going to be a good show. Did you smoke any meats?
I didn't mention that I did my first ever fast and hot rib rack the other day. Smoked ribs in about 2 hours, and maybe I did.
Okay. No, I thought you were saying that you were into intermittent fasting, much like I have been a champion of, and Elon Musk now fasting intermittently.
Famously.
Yeah, unfortunately.
What's up? What's up,
no,
Randy?
I do have some pork butt in a freezer that I think I need to thaw out. And I fear the thawing process, that's going to take weeks for it to happen. So I just need to go ahead and get it out of there.
This son of a gun, Randy, our producer, I thought he was up to something diabolical over there. Turns out we just didn't have the curtain shut. And Randy, explain what happened there.
I didn't have the curtain shut, so the acoustics in here were a little off.
This should sound a lot better.
Oh, my acoustics.
Thanks, Randy.
Yeah, thanks, Randy, for staying on top of it, man.
Yeah, the thawing process, man. Tough scene.
I'm not ready for it. I did have family in town. I didn't talk about it last week, but I had family visiting from Dallas. And I think I mentioned having so many nephews and nieces in one household. But an experience that I hadn't yet had was that of driving around with a 8-year-old and a 6-year-old I don't remember age as well. In the conversations that ensue, it certainly is giving me something to anticipate whenever my kids hit those ages. Dylan having 2 kids in that age range. David, I'm sure you've driven your nieces and or nephews around at some point, maybe been in the car. But I am shocked to know how much like random online slang is thrown around even at that age. Like hearing my nephew refer to something as sus kind of stopped me down in my tracks.
Park's 7 years old, has used sus before. He also calls me bro sometimes, which I'm not sure how I feel about. Yeah, he's picking it up, man.
Do you remember the "Don't Tase Me, Bro" guy?
Yeah, of course.
All-time video, of course.
He got tased, man. And I feel like they didn't need to tase him.
Don't tase me, bro.
Don't tase me, bro.
Spoiler alert, he gets tased quite
He
a lot.
does.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he was okay, like at the end of the day, but come on, bro. Yeah, I have not had it's been a while since I've ridden around with my niece and nephew, but they're, 13 and 8.
Mm.
And so I can only imagine. Now my niece who's 13, she's embarrassed by me. So like she really doesn't communicate with me unless she like absolutely has to. So she probably won't say much at all, but my nephew, who just started football, by the way, in some capacity, he'll drop a sus on you.
Mm-hmm.
He'll hit you with it.
Kids, man.
Kids are wild.
I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready to be in that like memeable category or just like, I didn't even know the app Be Real existed. And at one point my nephew was talking to my brother about it. And I'm like, what is going on in this universe? Like, am I that just completely unplugged? I'm supposed to be online and involved in these things. Had no idea. Will is probably ashamed.
I did not know Be Real had an app. I mean, I listened to a lot of Cypress
Concept,
Hill.
whatever it is.
Oh.
Okay. I stepped on that. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It wasn't good. No one gets it. Hey, I see we want to talk fantasy. Is that what this is? Is this our fantasy minute?
What?
We were talking, hey, we really need some content for the early part of the episode. And I was like, who better to bring us updates on their fantasy football rosters and starting lineup than those who've come back from drafts themselves?
My team was widely panned on the previous show we recorded, circling back.
I asked Dave who his number 1 pick was. He doesn't even remember. So.
Yeah, we had a weekend. I do like my team. It just is not sexy. There's a lot of things that could go wrong. My quarterback is Jalen Hurts, who widely panned in the room here, but if you get deep into it and you look in the analytics, people are like, no, Jalen Hurts, this is going to be big year. The Eagles are going to win the East. It's ripe for the picking. And I'm thinking I can rely on him to at least keep me in games if he can stay healthy.
Yeah. More athletic, what Andy Dalton used to be. He's always going to have to try to score points. They're never going to be dominating so much that you don't know what's going to happen.
My draft is on Monday, which is Labor Day. It is an auction draft. It is the only way I do fantasy football. It's like a 5-hour ordeal. It's kind of a long situation, but so much fun. I'll let you know how it turns out.
That reminds me, this has nothing to do with fantasy, but you did say auction draft. We did a snake draft, as we often do. There's a python, an albino python in my neighborhood that got loose. A 12-foot albino python.
I'm glad that Ross found Bruce before that python made its way to his neighborhood.
The thought crossed my mind that, like, okay, when I'm letting my dog out, my large dog, do I need to like go out and do a walkthrough? I know it's very unlikely, but
that's really scary.
It is.
I'll snatch a kid up, man.
Yeah. 12-foot python.
Do they constrict? I know a boa constrictor obviously is the squeezing type. Does a python will squeeze you? How does that work?
If you're squeezable.
Yeah. You are.
I know.
Bitch.
KJ, thoughts on pythons?
I'm just still going through the like sentence diagramming of how we went from fantasy football, snake draft, python talk.
Yeah.
My brain was still like watching that step off one wall, step off the other wall, then just like roundhouse kick to the face content that we got. I appreciate that.
You don't see a lot of pods doing that.
No. Before we get to the next point, we do need to remind the good folks at home. If you have not already, go to a little website called youtube.com, search Too Much Dip podcast. Throw in that podcast part. It's critical. And hit subscribe. We need you to be present and ready for when we bring back the live streams next Thursday night.
Do you mean the live streams presented by DraftKings?
Exactly. What time will they be presented by DraftKings?
7 p.m. Central, right? That's what we normally do, and we should know that.
At the time in which we announce we do them.
I think we do 6:30.
We do 6:30?
Because it ends as
I
the
think
games
it's 6:30.
begin.
Okay. Well, it's supposed to.
That
And
feels
sometimes
right.
you look up and we're 51 minutes in. You will not believe the guest that KJ has lined up for this very first one. I mean, it's going to be KJ. I don't want to oversell it, but you've got something. You want to just go ahead and name this person?
One of the few Austin natives that I know. Former baseball standout. Some might not say star. One of the best all-around dudes I know. Dylan Shivery will be present.
That's fucking crazy.
Wow.
A guy who,
5-tool podcaster.
man, if it hadn't been for that knee,
Just wait what I have in store for you guys that day.
I cannot wait to see what games
Yeah.
you pick.
It's
man.
gonna blow your little D off.
I almost said that out there. Did you hear me? I
Yeah,
pivoted
right in
hard.
front of Callie,
Yeah.
Our-
I didn't. I said I changed it to doors.
our young intern.
So it completely changed what I was. Yeah.
I'll blow the doors off. Shut
Yeah,
up.
I know. I didn't want to say it. I'm a gentleman, I don't do that. But DraftKings is back in the mix. The wait, it's almost over. A new football season is about to begin. Get ready for the NFL Week 1 action with the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. To celebrate the return of football, DraftKings is giving new customers a cannot-miss offer. Bet just $5 on any football game and get $200 in free bets instantly. Want more action for opening night? Everyone can experience the thrill of DraftKings early win promotion. Get up 7, you win. Bet on any NFL team of your choice, and if your team leads by 7 points at any point during the game, you get paid instantly, even if your team loses. Like, let's say maybe hypothetical if it was Scott Frost on the other side of the ball.
Ooh.
I know it's a college football thing,
Yeah.
but this is only NFL. But you know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? You're not good.
Up 11 points.
Correct.
Third quarter, just scored.
Got the Mo, got the big Mo on his side.
Onside kick. Let's bury these fools.
Let's go. Let's see how it works out. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. A lot of places don't let you do that. DraftKings, though, they do. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code WASHED to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That's code WASHED only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See the show notes for details. So check that out. Got a full disclaimer in the show notes. Well, guys, it's here. It came.
Wait, what did?
Week 0.
Mm.
How do you feel about calling it Week 0?
I like it.
I don't.
All right, come up with a better
Seems
name.
unnecessary.
Tough guy.
Huh?
Come up with a better name.
1.
No. It's too confusing, man.
I just don't think it is.
Yeah.
Like, there were actual games.
Because it's not, but it's like not real action. You know? I mean, it's kind of real action.
We
but
played
it's
a
like
game in Dublin.
The big dogs start the real week 1. The big dogs. Not Duquesne versus Florida State.
You
or
Duquesne on
Nebraska,
weekends.
Northwestern, or Florida Atlantic versus whatever the shit. Those don't, you know.
You're telling me Northwestern Nebraska doesn't do anything for you?
It was fun to watch Casey Thompson, former Longhorn great, at the helm for the Cornhuskers. Hasn't changed much. Same guy. He'll make some good plays.
Looked really good in the first half.
He'll make some good throws, maybe even a wow play. And then he'll throw some interceptions, and then as his team really needs him, he just kind of disappears.
You mean after he's trying to clean up for his head coach's mistakes?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Dylan mentioned this in the first 7 seconds of the show, but yeah, Scott Frost up 11 in the third. They went onside kick.
Onside kick. Didn't get it.
Onside kick.
Didn't
And
get
look,
the ball back.
I'd like to think I'm a forward-thinking football guy. I like mixing it up. I like working an onside kick in there. I just don't know if that was the situation for it. KJ, you're a better football mind than I. Go ahead and tell me if I'm wrong here.
I have no idea what the analytics say, but I do appreciate that he owned it immediately after he said that's on him. That's his call. That's his decision. I think that's all we ask for. The tweet that's gone out and been recycled a couple times that if Scott Frost, who is 15-30 through his first 45 games in Nebraska, won the next 50 games, he would still not have as many wins as Bo Pelini did, who was notably fired after being like 63-26.
He lost
at
the
Nebraska.
room, though.
So he lost to who?
He lost the room.
He lost the room, and he had some like not allegations, but like NCAA violations creeping up during his time. Pretty sure he also had some. I guess it would have been NCAA allegations as far as like practice time allotments. But anyways, yeah, Scott Frost is not for long there. It'll just allow people to go back to remembering, all of his memories of being roommates or, connections to Lawrence Phillips and whatnot.
Oh, were they roomies?
I don't know if they're roomies, but I believe Scott Frost, and I might screw this one up. David, correct me if I'm wrong. Was present during a situation in which a woman accused a former player of sexual assault. And by all accounts, Scott Frost stayed in the other room and did not intervene. And his claim was that he was too scared to intervene or something along those lines.
Says he broke into the house of the then freshman quarterback or apartment of the freshman quarterback, Scott Frost. And that is where the incident went down. That is with a very, very, very brief skimming of this AP story from 20 years ago. Longer than that, actually. But, yeah. Scott Frost, not a good coach.
Not a good coach. It's sad because it's not sad. He had so much success at UCF, and it's weird to think maybe UCF just had staying power.
Or is it a talent thing? I mean, obviously UCF is located in a talent-rich state. I mean, even if you get scrubs from Florida State, Florida, and even like, Georgia, Alabama, obviously poaches from Florida. Still a ton of talent in that state. I think convincing a blue chip athlete to go spend, several years in Lincoln, Nebraska, no offense, but not easy to do. I mean, Nebraska hasn't been good since, the 90s, when there's probably some shady under-the-table dealings going on to get guys to play football there. That's speculation, but it was a kind of
I think that was going on in other places, too.
Of course it was.
KJ can attest.
Okay, leave it alone. We served our time.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's tough to recruit to Nebraska. Let's be honest.
No, you're right. You're right. How many games did Casey Thompson start at Texas, or roughly? He wasn't a full season starter, right?
So Hudson Card was named the starter at the beginning of last season, and it took, I think, a game and a half. Yeah. What Texas played Arkansas, and Hudson Card looked terrible during the Arkansas game, and that was when they brought Casey Thompson in. And he looked really, really good for, up until halftime of the OU game. He got hurt that game, to be fair.
Right.
He hurt his thumb, famously. Yeah. So he didn't start quite a full season for Texas, but at times looked really good as a starter. You all right?
Dude, sorry, man. The spam calls are through the roof. I just get too many spam calls. What are we going to do about this? I thought we didn't Bush ban those or something? That didn't work.
Julie Golf Trip is calling again?
No, not okay. Come on. Julie. Did you guys check in on any college game day action?
I just saw what hit the TL, and what I saw was unfortunate.
Like what I did. I honestly did not see any of the college game day stuff. I
remember watching a tune-in the first week 0, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and they dragged Lee Corso out there. Again, 4 or 5 years ago. And I remember thinking to myself, they've got to get this guy off the TV screen. They've got to.
Yeah.
I know he had a stroke a while back. Very sad deal. He hasn't been the same since, and he has been declining rapidly. Sorry to say, legend, but it's gotten pretty sad at this point. I don't know why they keep bringing him out there. He went on about the SEC, like whoever's going to win the SEC title. I don't know what he said. It made zero sense. I can't even recap it because it really made no sense what he was trying to say, and he was slurring, and it was just bad. I feel bad for the man at this point.
As you should.
He's an old bag of bones, David.
Well,
I feel like he's got a hand in this decision that like this has to be somewhat forceful from his end to remain on board, because if anything that, you know, if we thought COVID would fix any glitches, so to speak, whenever we got to the point where they were setting up full-blown college game day, like outposts in his backyard, I knew we were too far gone. Like, let the man call in from his office and join in a segment like they've done with the other hosts. But like they were going above and beyond, sending like live mascots out there in addition to the mascot heads to his house. Like, I don't think they realized that like he's not the only thing keeping that show afloat. Just the pure live show from the campus of a game that day and getting like the like atmosphere. You can mix in and mix out the other parts and people will still check in, or at least have it on as background noise every Saturday.
What they need to do is just bring out like you said, maybe put a setup at his house, you know, and puts like some fake cameras. Like they don't even got to plug him in or anything, and just tell him he's on TV.
Okay.
Just like let him keep believing it for the next couple of years, but not actually air it.
Who's supposed to replace him?
I don't know. Do they need anybody to replace him? They have guys already.
He's the bit guy though. He does the most bits.
Oh. I've seen speculation that they're grooming Bear to replace him.
What a terrible decision.
I agree. He doesn't really have much of a personality for TV.
We're anti-grooming for the record.
Okay.
Let Lee Corso service time, then work it in.
I'm glad you brought up Bear, because the whole like stardom of that guy / character, like I loved that they gave him camera time as a producer for the show. I've been on record as to saying like, I love when they give like big send-offs to the camera crew or the behind the scenes people for these live sports broadcasts. But he's gone from like, hey, our producer kind of likes betting a little bit, to like getting a whole segment, to like being a mainstay character. And that's just too much. As they've fully leaned into betting, he was like, let's let him do it. None of us have to like be attached to it. Everybody's all in now. Like they don't need to have that guy doing that role.
Yeah.
Let the guy move on. As long as the answer is not for the brand, then I'm okay.
I agree.
That can't be the answer.
That is, McAfee.
Yeah, can't be. Yeah.
He's too obnoxious.
Why would he? He's already got the bag from FanDuel or DraftKings, like one of them, right? Like somebody dropped the bag on him, so he doesn't need it.
Not
There's always
Disney.
a bigger bag out there, though.
That's fair. Disney does have probably the biggest bag.
Yeah,
think about
he'll end
it.
up in fucking Fortnite if they let him do it.
You were Dylan. You were saying you wanted Clay Travis to potentially switch networks.
I don't remember saying that.
You said he would be a really good fit.
God, the most unathletic douchebag in America, Clay Travis.
I have to really quick pull back the curtain. As we go through this season, we had a quick discussion that we're going to try to like, you know, each stand guard or at least pay attention to a different conference. And since I'm in Madison, I stepped up and said, you know what? I'll watch the Big Ten. It'll be easiest for me to do. Makes the most sense. Not thinking about the fact that this is going to mean not only am I going to have to see Urban Meyer on my TV, I'm going to have to see Jason Whitlock pop up, Clay Travis pop up, and watch so much Fox coverage of sports that it's going to be a lot to let you know how like Mike Loxley and Maryland is doing mid-year.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited to hear. You can be our reporter to keep that beat up to date on this pod, Because I don't know. I don't see a lot of Whitlock stuff or a lot of Clay Travis stuff, and I feel like it's out there, and I think you need to bring it to us.
Dylan, you're on the SEC, correct?
I'm riding the SEC train. Yeah, I just figure since Texas is headed that way, I might as well, dig in a bit.
That's going to be tough for you because like they don't get covered anywhere.
I know it's hard to find an SEC game on TV.
I'm doing West Coast. West Coast Dave checking in.
Let's go, dude.
I'm pretty stoked, and I'm definitely not going to tie it every Pac-12 update to the backup quarterback at Utah. I definitely will not bring up Jaquindon Jackson every chance that I get.
We figured we're going to get enough Big 12 and unnecessary American Athletic Coverage Conference discussions week to week. But at very least, the top games in those conferences, we'll do a better job at discussing.
Speaking of, we got some games this week. We got some serious games this week. Oregon, Georgia, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Cincy at Arkansas. How many eggplant emojis are you for this week in general, KJ? Just give us a ballpark.
11 of 10.
Wow.
Damn.
We've been, I don't know if it's Hard Knocks or NFL preseason or just my inability to watch Shohei Ohtani, but like, I don't know that I've had this level of like anticipation and excitement for a college football season in a while. Maybe it's the quarterback switching and how many coaches have moved, but it just feels like a full reset. And going into this year, I'm just like, I'm all in. I even threw Florida State LSU on there. It's not a ranked game, but it's a Sunday night, 6:30 in Baton Rouge.
It's a big
Bet your
name,
ass
though.
I'm going to be hoping like we're going to get a 360 camera on Brian Kelly.
Oh, yeah, we got the Brian Kelly angle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think a couple other games to watch. My sneaky fun game of the week, NC State at East Carolina.
What's sneaky fun about that one?
You've got NC State coming in ranked, a little bit of hype.
Okay.
East Carolina, who has had some big dubs, KJ, as you know, in the last few years against highly ranked opponents. And it's the first game of the season. I think it'll just be fun.
Sneaky talented team, ECU, every year. I forgot to tell the world. I've got a little bit of extra insight on this as head coach of North Carolina State. Dave Doreen was on my flight back from Montana through ORD. And not only was it Dave Doreen, but it was also whatever his two kids' names are. And they are large, like 6'5" tight end looking MFers. And they seem to be a very nice, kind, peaceful couple. However, Dave Doreen is extra large font on his phone guy.
I love that.
And I can say that he is a faithful and loving husband who was really excited to get home that night. So I wish the best to him.
What? I'm sorry.
I can't tell if that's underhanded or not. What's going on?
No, not at all. He just in all caps was like, "Hey, it's going to be a long travel day. Can't wait to see you, honey." I was really hoping it was like him getting back into the grind of like texting a recruit, and it was not.
You were screen watching.
It was in the top line of an iChart font on his phone.
He's an older feller.
I don't know if that's accurate, but
He's older than us.
NC State ECU. What else is on your list?
Houston at UTSA.
Okay.
That's a game that like maybe it doesn't do anything for anybody outside of Texas, but those are two teams that have been good the last few years, and you got Dana Holgerson. So just going to be a fun game. And UTSA, they're coming to Austin in a couple weeks, right?
I believe that's game 3.
Yeah.
In Austin.
Shouldn't be an easy one.
Texas, right after Texas loses by 45 to Alabama.
Hedging. Houston finished 12-2 last year and ranked. They're picked to win the American Athletic Conference. And so, they run the table this year. They could be this year's Cincinnati. We'll see. I'm glad that you pulled the Jim Harbaugh clip or quote.
So I don't think we've even talked about it. So Harbaugh said they've got a quarterback battle.
Little classic QB battle.
McNamara, right? He's gonna start the first game,
Mhm.
and then the other kid, JJ McCarthy, starting the next game. And his quote was, "No person that's biblical, no person knows what the future holds. It's a process and it's going to be based on performance, but we're not going to withhold any good thing. Both have been tremendous quarterbacks. We think that both are capable of leading our team to a championship." Some people have asked, how did you come to that decision? Was it based on some kind of NFL model? No, it's really based biblical. Solomon, he was known to be a pretty wise person. So I don't know which one of you two fellers is the most religious, but do you want to break that down for me?
I noticed you're leaning heavily into the word fellers in this episode. It's a good one. I don't really know what he's talking about. I haven't read that part of the Bible.
He's just a big no laying up guy.
Has anyone ever done this? Announced 2 different starting quarterbacks for 2 different games?
I think the move is to announce that you don't know, and then like it's a surprise. Like I think that's what Oregon's doing.
Or
with Bo
obviously, like
Nix.
we've seen coaches try to play 2 different quarterbacks in the same game. That happens quite a bit. But to say like this guy's starting this game, this guy's starting the next one is a weird move.
What's the old saying, the old adage in the sports? You got 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one,
That's right.
or you have none.
Does it apply in current world where you're in like post Kevin Sumlin over QB recruitment era? Texas has 2 quarterbacks. Michigan, 2 quarterbacks. USC, 2 quarterbacks. With how many transfers we're seeing, I just saw TJ Finley was announced as a starter at Auburn. 6'7", 250-pound TJ Finley. And I couldn't remember, okay, who's he competing with? He was their starter going into last year and went to overtime with Alabama. Of course he should be the starter. No. Oregon's starting quarterback transferred in there. Calzada from A&M, who started some games at A&M, is also there. So, like, all of these teams are going to run into this. With how many cupcake games a lot of these big schools have early on in the year, I don't hate this. It's not like they have preseason. I just also wonder, like, okay, what happens when quarterback 1 gets hurt but not injured and misses a quarter in the first game, and quarterback 2 does well? Like, are you going to rank that in? It's just like, it's weird to announce it ahead of the time.
Yeah, what happens if
you're not going to hurt the players' feelings to tell them this in the room and then just play it out in public?
What happens if the first quarterback throws for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns? I mean, are you really going to sit him for game 2? I guess you have to, since you've already told the public that that's what's going to happen, or else it would look pretty strange, I think. But
or the Bible told him so.
That
doesn't really make sense, but you know what I mean.
I'm looking up Michigan's schedule because I'm very.
Oh, I was reading Solomon stories.
Oh, yeah, that's fine too. Oh yeah, so they're coming out of the gate, Colorado State, then Hawaii. So not exactly the biggest games. So maybe you can
not a balanced slate either.
But
if I'm go ahead.
No, just if they come out and McNamara looks awesome against Colorado State, they win by 40. Then the next week, say by some act of God, they lose to Hawaii because they ran out the other guy. It's just it's a bad look. So I don't know if it's onside kick up 11 in the third in Dublin, Ireland bad, but it could be. A lot of things have to go
Imagine
wrong.
that flight back.
No, what is 15 hours of just silence?
That's a tough one, man.
That sucks.
Scott Frost just wondering if like his termination papers are waiting for him as he lands. It can't be a pleasant flight at all.
So he basically he's got to beat OU. Like they've got OU in a few weeks.
He's not going to beat OU. Well,
they almost beat OU last year.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't tell if OU's going to beat. They were replacing a lot of people and entire coaching staff as well.
That was one of their 18 one-score game losses they had last season.
Okay.
That's what got Rattler. I think that was like when we were dealing with Rattler getting flat out booed for Caleb Williams.
Okay. That's right. That might have did it. I hadn't heard much out of him. He's
South Carolina.
Love my Cox. Y'all know that.
Do know that about you.
Will said that we need to make a too much dip old school sports college hat, like in the
Bar
old,
hat. The bar hat.
Is it a bar hat?
Yeah.
And I think he's right.
Will is the expert on that sort of thing, so of course, yes, absolutely.
I think it's got legs, Dave.
Anything else, KJ? You mentioned Oregon's starting quarterback. They actually haven't named it yet, but it's Bo Nix, right? It's got to be Bo Nix.
I think it's going to be Bo Nix, yeah. I'm more shocked at the lack of attention that Georgia's getting. I know that Stetson Bennett, I can't remember his full name, was what people would call a bus driver, and their defense overpowered teams, but like they might be 4th or 5th best odds to win a national championship this year. I know one person on this show has put in a decent amount of coin, less than $30, with hopes that they can repeat or that Stetson Bennett can win the Heisman, one of the two. Let's go Georgia.
Okay. And of course, Dan Lanning, famously the DC at Georgia,
oh, is
right?
it Oregon, huh?
Now is at Oregon, head coach.
Yeah, great point. I forgot about that.
Yeah. I'm just full of fun facts. You know me, I got the Pac-12 covered.
You're the Pac-12 guy. See, look at this, paying dividends already.
And if you want to, if there's something I should know, or if there's something I mess up on, and you want to privately tell me and not make a big thing of it in front of everybody on the timeline, you could do that. You're
Wait,
more than
I got to
welcome.
tell you, you messed up on something. It is not 15 hours back from Dublin. Somebody's going to be in your DMs about that. It's like 6-ish.
Yeah, it's not that far.
Really?
I'm kidding, but it is not 15.
If it was Dublin direct to Lincoln, and I can't imagine that it goes direct to Lincoln, Nebraska, it's probably like 8 hours.
Charter flight.
Yeah.
Well, now I got to know.
Just do Chicago to Dublin direct
Oh,
flight
the game
time.
was actually in Dublin, Ohio. Is that correct? Not a real destination game.
Home of the Jack Hanna Zoo.
Wonder how he's doing.
How long's that flight? Look it up, bitch.
I tried, but then it was just going to tank the show because I was going to be quiet and y'all weren't going to know what to do because y'all
I've got
waiting for me.
7.5 hours to ORD, so it's probably 9. There you go. Split the difference.
Anything over 2 is bad in my book. So yeah, that's hell. You know, it's not hell. Just hanging out with the boys, having a Vizzy hard seltzer, like I did at the river this weekend.
Sounds a lot like heaven to me, Dave.
I was down yonder on the Guadalupe. It was hotter than a hoochie coochie. We were cracking Vizzies. It was phenomenal.
He ran this joke during circling back too. Just want everybody to know that.
They probably listen to that also.
Yeah.
They know. Look, man, it's great for any summer occasion, but Vizzy's a year-round thing because the vibes are going to be Vizzy year-round. Whether you're cozying up for cuffing season or hosting a tailgate that will be the envy of the lot, pass the vibe check with a case of bold, delicious Vizzy hard seltzer with their vitamin C from superfruit acerola. What more can you ask for? I went heavy on the a variety pack over the weekend, and then I mixed in a little bit of lemonade, the Vizzy lemonades. They're all fantastic. The Vizzy Mimosa has the refreshing taste of real orange juice and is perfect for daytime sipping. Comes in strawberry orange, pineapple orange, peach orange, and pomegranate orange. If you like to shake things up or just keep your options open, like I said, try the variety pack for a cornucopia of flavors. Oh, fall's getting close. Fall cannot come soon enough, Dylan.
I hear you, man.
Check it out. Vizzy Hard Seltzer, flavors for every vibe. Stock up on Vizzy Hard Seltzer and show some love for the show. Here's how to get yours. Go to VizzyHardSeltzer.com/washed to find Vizzy near you. That's VizzyHardSeltzer.com/washed. And to hear first about the latest flavor drops and more, sign up at VizzyHardSeltzer.com/subscribe. Must be 21 or older. Who cried when Rory won yesterday? Who here? Raise your hand. Which one of you guys? I know somebody cried.
You're the sports crier.
Who cried? Did you cry?
No, I didn't cry.
You didn't watch. What were you doing?
I watched when Scheffler was way out in front. Actually, I had no
6-shot
idea
lead
that Rory was doing what he was doing, so I was completely unaware.
Yeah, tough day for Scotty. Just kind of gagged away a 6-shot lead.
Don't say it like that.
Coughed it up.
Choked away.
That's not much better.
It's a real term, at least.
They're both real, as you know.
Jesus.
KJ, man, you're a big Rory guy.
Nothing really stopped me in my tracks like seeing people fall over themselves to profess Rory McIlroy, the 2022 victor of all that is golf, and then proceed to lay out his stats on the air where he finished top 8 in all 4 majors. He won notable events like the Tour PGA Championship, FedEx Cup, Super Bowl, Fest. And then he won the Canadian Royal Cannon Bowl.
Don't poo-poo the Canadian Open.
He's had wins. He's had wins. I respect the year that he's had. But to fall over yourself and throw in the bullet point, oh, and he also savaged Greg Norman.
He did savagely savage him.
Greg Norman's still getting paid. He'll be okay. But to do all of that and not in the same line be what a moment for the PGA to have Rory, who's had this year, and Scotty Scheffler, whose year has looked like this, which to me, Scotty's year is just ridiculous. 10 top 10s?
4 dubs and a Masters being one of those dubs. Yeah, he had a phenomenal year.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Well, and what do you think about, so we're not going to jump into the live stuff too much. We have, some notes on it, but
yeah,
to make this comeback, even though it was kind of terrible golf the last, pretty much the last 4 or 5 holes, to do all this while being the savior of the tour, along with one Tiger Woods, who obviously was not playing. There's a little something to be said for that because the guy's got a lot going on. What?
What does him having to be the savior of the tour have to do with anything?
He's having to make
external pressure.
He's trying to make up shit or try to figure it out, man.
He's trying to get paid.
No, just man, it's not about the money, bro.
This, at this point, once we finally mentally and emotionally get past the MBS angle here, which I don't know that it's expected to ever happen, at some point, the reaction by the PGA, the creation of the arena events between Rory and Tiger, we're going to get to the point where it's the PGA's best response comes off players who would be heavily advocating against NIL deals. They're no, you should have paid homage to this current system. And then the PGA tries their best to dump all this money into events. Okay, if you had that money, you should have done that 5 years ago.
They were definitely late.
You can't be mad.
They were very, very late to the existential threat of a rival golf league. And
you had everybody's attention, undivided attention for decades. And the reactions that are so visceral and personal now, I'm sure there's more to it than I fully understand in terms of the personal interactions, but I'm not going to give any weight to Rory, taking it upon himself to be king dingling on top of having a good year. He's had a great year. Won all those Masters.
Okay.
Or won all those majors.
Okay.
Or fought back to get into a couple major contentions.
As he often does. He will break your heart if you're not careful. Pretty much every time. Yeah. All valid points. Cam Smith officially gone. Joaquin Neiman. Harold Varner III. That one, Cam Smith and HV3, that hurts. I've come to like both of those guys quite a bit. Cam Smith, just a unique character, fun to have out there. Harold Varner, by all accounts, a really, really nice, popular dude on tour. Friends with Brett through his caddy. And then remember when Brett famously got his car broken into in the Fresas parking lot?
They did famously hang out one time.
They did hang out after an event.
At what point is a PGA Tour just all right, if you can't beat them, join them, and they just do something? I mean, this is really bad. Every week, a really big name or two gets announced, it feels like at this point.
I think so. They had the players-only meeting, and you had those top 30 guys in the room. And I don't think you're going to see anyone from that go anytime soon because it would be an awful look, right? To go in, and then everybody from there said they're solid. They're all ride or die PGA. They're going to make this work. If someone would have flipped like in the next month, yeah, then they'd end up looking like Brooks, because that's how Brooks fucked up. Is that Brooks was like not even entertaining it. He was adamant against it, and then next thing you know, he's not.
I mean, every time I
But-
watch a PGA Tour event and moving forward now that Cam Smith, these guys are not there. It's just like, all right, cool. Like, yeah, Zalatoris won, but like Dustin Johnson wasn't there. Brooks wasn't there. Bryson wasn't there. Cam Smith's not going to be there moving forward. It just changes the whole dynamic.
But those are the names. I mean, like you just ran through like the guys that are like alpha dogs that left the tour, as far as like top players.
I know. I'm saying like,
But that's not that many of them comparatively.
these are guys you
Yes
see
and no.
Sunday on the leaderboard, though. You know what I mean? Like, yes, Zalatoris won a tournament, his first one. That's great. But would he have won if these other guys were playing in that same tournament? It just changes. The field has been changed, watered down way too much for my liking. It just makes PGA Tour events are just not as exciting anymore. We got the major still. I get that. The product just stinks now comparatively.
I don't see it that way at all. But I mean, it just like Brooks, I was never like tuning in for Brooks Koepka. Now I did like him there in the mix, but Dustin Johnson's 36 years old, 37 years old, right? It's like he's on the back end of his career. And Brooks has had, I get why Brooks did it.
Cam
Brooks has
Smith
been-
just left.
Cam Smith's a tough one,
I mean-
but Cam Smith, like outside of being like a funny guy from Australia with a mullet,
I'm saying like the competition stinks now compared to how it was this time last year.
Zalatoris versus Cam Smith, those records next to one another. One's a major winner, one in Columbus, I think, or wherever it was.
Yeah.
Like
you still got John
I
Rahm.
agree. The numbers are clearly in favor of PGA in terms of the numbers of names that are on their side and on their docket. The total collective quality of those 30 names versus even if it's 5 to 7 on the Live Tour plus just some other names, like I don't think it needs to even out 20 and 20 for it to be a real competition. But like Dylan's saying, like eventually it's going to dilute the pool on one side or the other.
Yeah.
The same reason that people don't care about live events because they're not competing with anybody. At some point, you're going to start asking those questions about PGA because even if it's 30 guys, you can't tell me you tune into a PGA event like looking at all 30 names.
But if you
You're really like you've got your 5 in mind and then you're watching the top leaderboard.
if you look at what they're proposing and going to do with the elevated events, then the entire premise of it is to have the best players in the world playing in the same tournaments, making sure the schedule is aligned. And obviously they've had to open up the pocketbooks and to do that. But I think that's going to be seriously good for the tour. It's going to be a good product to watch. And like Live, we've probably watched collectively about 19 minutes of Live on YouTube. And it was the first day. And it was when we were in the office in here. I don't know. I don't see
That access is, I think, the only thing standing in. I'm not saying it would be a game changer if they were on NBC at the same time. Would that many more people be watching? But like, I think the access has more to do with how much we've consumed. But I agree with you. A year from now, if the PGA delivers on these promises and the events look good, you know, maybe they bring back the shot tracer tail that I love so much.
You do love the shot chaser tail.
But you know, if they do deliver over the next year, it's a different conversation. I'm not serious when I ask if the PGA will make it to the spring, but I do think we're a long way away from where we were in March when this started becoming a conversation. We called this DOA 2 or 3 different times whenever Phil got his hand slapped, and it's ridiculous to think of where we're at after that first like Phil Mickelson like press conference fuck up.
You know what's funny is that so Phil, obviously with the changes they've made, was right to a certain extent. And had he just not been so weird about it and like looked so conniving and like almost, I think Shipnuck said, you know, almost like a double agent because he was working like trying to talk to the tour while at the same time helping write the operating agreement for Live. It's like he would look really good right now. And there's like a lot of people out there like, oh, Phil was totally right. It's like, I mean, he was right that the tour needed changes. That's for sure. I think most people thought that. It's just how he went about it was just not the move. And that's just Phil, though. That's how he's always been. And he gave people a chance to shit on him when they've been looking for that opportunity forever, for his entire career, and have probably done so.
Last question on this for me. I'm saying, do you think we're too far gone for it to be a possibility, or is there still in the future the opportunity for some sort of NBA, ABA type event where they don't necessarily walk back all the exclusivity lines they've tried to draw at the PGA, but they realize, like, okay, maybe we're not allowing these guys back in, but we continue to play on this like WCW versus WWE atmosphere, and let's put on 2 events a year, Ryder Cup style, and make money off of it.
That would be sick. I would watch that.
I would be in for that. I think it's unlikely, and I think the best chance we're going to get is like if we have Sunday of a major and you have like Brooks and Rory in the final group, or any live guy versus any tour guy. But yeah, no, I just don't see it going that way, and maybe we may have to wait the 2 years or whatever it's going to take for the pending litigation. I don't know if you saw that they just Patrick Reed's attorney, I think, just subpoenaed Tiger and was it Rory? Somebody.
Yeah, that's the kind of shit that'll have to stop before that happens. I agree.
God, Reed sucks.
Look at that golf guys here, full blown golf talk.
We're just guys who know the game. That's our thing.
Dimp heads.
You know what I also know? I know that I start every morning with athletic greens. I wake up. I usually have a cup of water next to my bed. I sip some water, stretch, maybe do some body movements just to get loose, get the blood flowing. I go to the kitchen. I get my athletic green shaker. I pop open a pack, put it in there, a little bit of water, 6 ounces, 8 ounces, something like that. Shake it up, and I just pound it, empty stomach. Boom.
It is the way to start the day.
75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. Dylan and I, man, and KJ for that matter too. Like, there's a reason we're able to operate at this high level. It's because we start every day with AG1.
Every day.
Every flipping day.
Tastes good too. Sneaky good.
It's sneaky good, and like it's almost shocking because something that's that good for your gut health, for your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging, all those things, it shouldn't taste that good, but it does. And it's like super green, and you're like, wow, what's this going to taste like? It's diced up greens. Well, it tastes phenomenal. It's got it's very easy to drink, which isn't always the case for something to drink that early in the morning.
Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just 1 scoop, cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements. Look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you 1 free year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/bang. That's, again, athleticgreens.com/bang. Take ownership over your health. Pick up the ultimate and daily nutritional insurance.
Crushed it. That's how you do a read, folks.
It's already time to party.
It ain't a hobby. It's always time to party, but it's time to sports party. This is the part of the pod where we talk about sports, and while doing so, we theoretically party. KJ?
I don't want to veer off topic as a sports podcast, but I do think we should all just publicly right here and now proclaim who we will be submitting a ballot in support of in 2024 for president. And right now I can tell you it absolutely is not Stephen A. Smith.
Why not, man?
David, you had the note, or at least I believe it was you who shared the story that Stephen A. is getting an absolute bag. It sounds like from Disney to do a offshoot podcast where he will do politics, news, current events, other non-sports items. Is that correct?
I don't know if I'm the one who shared it, but I definitely saw that. And it makes sense because Stephen A's style, his entire game, it translates to whatever he wants to talk about. It's actually perfect, maybe more perfect for the world of politics, given the state of this country, this world.
I agree. I think it does translate. I enjoy me some Stephen A. as long as he's not talking Dallas Cowboys. I enjoy his takes and the manner in which he delivers them.
Did you see Jerry drop the glory hole again?
What's he doing?
Mm-hmm.
Stop.
It's oil and gas.
I love that
Not
Stephen
anything
A's
else.
self-aware. Okay. 2 Stephen A universes, you got to pick one. One, he has a full hour-long Rachel Ray in her old days, like cooking show. Or you get Stephen A. Smith in a Sean Hannity nightly news segment.
Give me the former. Just because the thought
Stephen
of
A.
him,
in the kitchen.
yeah, that is much more entertaining. And I'm trying to save this country. I don't know about you guys, but I just feel like that would be bad for us all.
I don't know. Give me Stephen A. hanging out with Don Lemon and Anderson Cooper on New Year's. That's what I'm trying to get.
I agree.
Oh, okay. That's different. You didn't sell it that way before. That's pretty good. So,
Oh, man.
are we going to lose Chet for the whole year?
Next one says, R.I.P. Chet Holmgren. I would like to announce that he is still alive.
Alive and well, other than the ankle or foot, whatever.
Yeah, he's out for the year. Oh, Chet.
Yeah, the book on him was like, dude, insane skills, freakish player, unicorn-esque with that body frame, being like the skinniest guy in the league, having zero muscle mass. And I don't know how if that equated or weighed into the injury or not, but like it doesn't look good. Sucks for OKC.
What's with the big guys and feet problems? I know there's probably a medical reason that guys like Yao, Chet, there's some other guys.
Porzingis?
Porzingis, just their feet just can't handle
It's
you know what I mean?
they're not. Someone that big is not supposed to move and do the things they
Right.
do. And I think, and it's interesting because I was almost going to say, and the way these guys play away from the basket, they're moving around a lot more. But that wasn't Yao Ming.
Right.
But he was also 7'6". That's just like
He was
Famously a
giant.
very big man.
that's insane. We
Yeah.
got to protect Boban at all costs.
Yeah.
Viva Hawaii. I'm glad that it's over. Little League World Series. I will constantly tell you it's the worst thing that's on television. It is my reminder each and every year that I can check out of ESPN for a good 2.5 weeks. But apparently Hawaii's won that thing like for 4 times. So are we also dropping the bag for name, image, and likeness for Little League World Series kids or what?
Yes, we're working behind the scenes.
I imagine one of them's gonna catch a deal like that. Yeah, watching this, I know like sit down and watch it, but if I catch highlights on Sports Center, it reminds me I was not that guy back in Little League. These kids are freaking good, man.
Mm-hmm.
Specialized.
Hitting the ball like 280 feet.
Our kids like Park's age, like they're not watching that, right? Because that Little League World Series wasn't on TV when I was a kid, I don't think. And if it was on ESPN 9. But
I'm sure kids watch it.
do kids watch it, or is it
Probably.
just okay?
Kids that are like that around that age see how they're much better athletes perform on the field than they do.
Just make them feel like shit.
Mhm.
Just like completely crush their self-worth. Hey, I should be applauded for not leading the show with my Duncanville Panthers over the Mecca, South Oak Cliff. Your state champions last year. South Oak Cliff.
What was the final?
The 5A level.
Yeah, 5A. Duncanville won by 10, I think. 8 or 9 or 10.
Duncanville is loaded with talent.
Yeah, both teams. You got D1 all over that field. I think the biggest prospect is Sam something or other, the D end, number 8 on Duncanville, who's just an absolute monster and just wrecked the game. And that poor South Oak Cliff quarterback could not do anything.
They have a junior. His name is Colin Simmons. I think that's his name. Last name is definitely Simmons. I might have the first name wrong. But yeah, he's like a top 5 guy in the country for the class of 2024.
That's wild.
He's a junior. He's just a freak.
Yeah, I think Duncanville's quarterback might have done his ACL, blown his ACL in the game, which is awful. They have the
No.
worst luck with quarterbacks, but the backup looked good too, and their running back's sick, and their defense looks better than it has in like last year. Their defense was insane. This year it looks like world class. So we'll see what happens. And of course, I will be continuing to monitor that situation. Oh, here's a good one. I'm 45 years old. I've got a lot of shit going on. Dylan, who said it? Dylan or Tom Brady?
Come on, man. You know I'm not 45. Yeah, Tom Brady took a little time off from training camp. And when questioned as to what he was up to, he said he had a lot of shit going on. I can't say that to you guys. Like if I just skip a few weeks, there's shit going on. You're probably gonna want some kind of explanation.
We need something better.
Like if anybody ever had the ability to do so, it would be like the Dylan Shiver year, and not once has this man shown up and said that. So
wow.
I'll take Dylan over Brady.
Wow. Thank you, KJ. Very nice.
In case anyone's wondering, we will be watching the Bishop Sycamore documentary whenever that drops. We will be in on it, and we will discuss it here on the podcast.
I'm all over this.
KJ, you said that this doesn't seem like it was a year ago, doesn't it? What do you think? 3 years ago? 4 years ago? How's it feel?
This is our third football season here on the Too Much Dip squad. It feels like this was a part of our first run. Like with Micah, like it just seems like this was season 1 type shit when we talked about it. And maybe it was because it burned so bright so quickly and we got so much information in a short period of time. I am excited to see the follow-up. I will lay out now my 2 pre-complaints. I don't like the title BS. Seems pretty low level. And I'm hoping that we get more empathy for the actual players than we seem to have gotten out of the Teo doc. Yeah, that's all I got on it.
Okay.
Now to my cease and desist.
Go ahead.
Edgerrin James, also known as Edge, former Indianapolis Colt legend, University of Miami legend. He has a son whose name is Jizzle James.
Jizzle James.
Narrowing down his list of schools to LSU, Georgia, and Cincinnati.
A point guard.
Shouts to Cincy for staying.
So we're on. You're saying we're on Jizzle watch.
We are on Jizzle watch.
Outside.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. He's not large. 6'1", point guard. Okay, I mean, it could be done. Jalen Brunson. He's a kid. He's still growing. I'm just saying. Interesting.
Shouts on you for clicking on the link. I was just kind of assuming it was a football player. I read the tweet as it was presented to me without clicking through. As one formerly known as K Jizzle, congrats to this young man. I hope he goes far with the name.
Reports are that he's got handles like Van Exel.
Wow.
Yeah, just nice with it.
Sounds like he might be.
High socks
He just drops dimes all over the court, apparently.
Man, do you think fans will be able to handle, like, let's assume he's really good, even at the college level?
No, the answer is no.
Can they handle having a world-class player named Jizzle?
I don't believe so.
I don't either.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Can he get a cameo from Jazzy Faye, like trying to announce him into the games?
Ooh-wee. All right, let's run it back.
Let's run it back. Of course, the segment where we talk about, I messed that up. The segment during which we talk about what we already talked about. That's how it goes, right? Yeah. Anyway, KJ wearing the Jert today. Of course, that stands for jean shirt.
Dude, Jizzle in the Jert.
KJ wants to know, as cooler weather approaches, at what point during the day do you jack it off?
Jeez.
Very horny
We're
man.
better than that.
Dylan spoiled an upcoming segment in the first 7 seconds of the episode. Dave loves his cocks.
Famously.
Dave is out here recycling Vizzy jokes, unfortunately.
Dude, up yours.
And finally, again, his name is Jizzle James. And that concludes Run It Back.
Fun.
I would like to point out that David just doubled down on his beverage jokes with make 7-Up yours joke. That was tremendously done.
Thank you. Thank you for knowing that.
I was trying to stall to see if I had the Go Cox button on my board, but I can't find it.
Oh, damn it. That's okay. Thank you to the sponsors of the show. We will be back next week. And next Thursday, we'll be kicking off the Happy Hour live stream at 6:30 Central Time, Randy. Hope you're ready, Randy. Presented by DraftKings. We are super stoked on it.
We are quite
YouTube.com/too much dip.
We will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I want my chips with the dip. That's all I know. I don't want my chips plain. I want my chips with the dip. So bring them dips.